I think probably last week it was still in that kind of pre-season mode, very much a lot of high speed running on the pitch, things like that. But I think after the travel and stuff this weekend, they've minded us, to be fair. Looking forward to Gloucester this weekend. We didn't do as much on Monday, and then today it wasn't as intense as last week. So there's kind of like a nice mix. Like Jim is very much that kind of pre-season mode, heavy weights, trying to get as much as we can out of it because it was a shorter pre-season than usual. So there's a nice mix, and they've managed it well this week. Yeah, it's a weird one. Like pre-season friendlies are always weird. Because you can't really imitate the amount of contact that you want in pre-season naturally, because you don't want to lose bodies through training and stuff like that. So getting a live hit out was very good. I thought we did a lot of good stuff. Obviously, a lot of work-ons as well in the set piece and around our contact area. But in general, like first hit out it was pretty good. No, like look, before we left, we parked it. I think our last day, I think the coaches managed it really well. Naturally, lads are hurting. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go, so there was probably no point in having that conversation before going into the summer. I think without actually going into the game too much, we took our learnings throughout the summer, catching up with coaches, and then before coming back in here, having a plan on how we can implement those changes. Did we go over the game? We didn't really dwell on it, to be honest, which is a good thing. I think the coaches really managed that well, and they have, if we have a bad loss or a disappointing loss, they don't dwell on it too long. Like, it's on to the next thing, it's on to a new season, so we're just looking forward to getting going this season rather than looking back. Yeah, I won't shy away from the fact that it has been very frustrating. Obviously, I got to start even last year, just thinking mainly about last year, just came into that Bayonne week, started in Tone Park, and then the following week then we were supposed to travel to Exeter, done my shoulder in training, and kind of a nothing contact day. It was just frustrating. It was just one of those, could do it 1,000 times and it wouldn't happen, but I just hurt my shoulder, and then that kept me out for 8 weeks and a lot longer than I'd hoped. I was supposed to start against Connacht then around Christmas or around the New Year, and hurt myself again on the Thursday before that, so that held me out for another while again. So yeah, like little things, like then I got back into the squad. I was on the bench a few times around that Scarlets away. Then we had Zebra at home, and I hurt my knee then, done my meniscus, so that was surgery, and it was just another couple of weeks. As you say, like nothing too major, like they weren't like long 6 months or anything like that, but they were just that kind of critical times of the season. But I was happy enough that I kind of worked hard to get back into the side near the end of the season, and I got an opportunity in the semi-final and a few of the games leading up to it. So yeah, for this season for me, it's just to stay injury free and kind of get back to playing week in, week out. I think the body naturally hardens up to it when you play week in, week out, and I just hasn't had that consistency over the last 2 seasons, so that's the plan this season. Oh, they're excellent. Yeah, they're really, really good. Geez, they've been fantastic. Yeah, I just thought Tom Farrell was very good the other day, and I thought DK coming off the bench, I think he was very good. They're class players, and they add a lot, to be fair. They're good fellas off the pitch as well, which makes massive difference. We've had Takir in the last 2 weeks. He obviously missed the first couple of weeks with a few issues, and but he's back in now, and hopefully he'll get his opportunity this weekend. He's electric. See him in training there. He's very steppy. He's very fast. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Hopefully this weekend or throughout the season.
As of now, we're not 100% sure. They're I suppose in the process of back out on the pitch, more loading in terms of their training, etc. They're on the right road. The goal will be hopefully for the first game, but nothing is guaranteed. But look, they are motoring well at the moment, so it'd be great to have them back. There's got to be a list all right there, and that can change. But I suppose the beauty of how we train in terms of our academy train with us, even players, and we call it the sub academy, etc. They've been in with us for since this pre-season, but also over the last 2 years. Our model is a small bit different. We train with big numbers, so when it does come to, I suppose, moments and situations like this where we won't have our internationals for the start, so we'll be relying on certain players. Then the emerging tour will go, and we've got to, I suppose, figure it all out. But thankfully, as I said, we have a kind of a base of almost 50 players that train together. So we're trying to be fair to players as well at this level, not just bringing them in, a week or two previous or 2 or 3 weeks previous. They have trained with us, they're up to speed. And as I said, when it does occur, that we'll be as prepared as we can through the way we set ourselves up through training. Yeah, no, it is. I think it's always challenging. As I said, fortunately, as the way we set up, we train, our academy train with us. So when it does come to these windows, that we can have them as prepared, we can have the players as prepared as we can. And I suppose, look, there has been a big focus in terms of, you look at our first 2 seasons as a group. If we're honest, we probably didn't start off naturally. The first year, a lot was new coaches, new way maybe of playing, changing habits, etc. So there was a bit of, I suppose that was going to happen, and we managed to fix it and sort it out, and fortunately go on and win a league. But I think last year, and look, we've got to, I suppose, bring into discussion as well. We probably had a number of injuries as well, but that gave opportunities to other players as well who have got game time. And we have spoken about the start of this season and trying to really hit the ground running, like I'm sure like every team does. But I suppose we have 2 years to go back and look and go, you know what, that wasn't good enough. It put us under probably a bit of pressure towards after Christmas to really catch up. And we did, fortunately, last year, because we went on a nice run. But there is a big onus to get the start of the season this right. And that's with whoever it is. That's with, your non-internationals, your internationals that will be there at the start, that potentially will go on the emerging tour. So as we say, everyone needs to be on it from day one. And I know Fineen was talking to you there earlier in terms of the quality of training, and it has been good. Games show you more pictures and tell you about people, and we saw maybe a small bit of that on Saturday as well, and we'll know more on Friday. But in terms of who we will lose and who we will have, we're still, I suppose, figuring that out at the moment, because we have to see who will be going on the tour. We know when our internationals are coming back. We know we've a couple of players coming back from injury as well. So it's about piecing that together over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, they've been very good. Billy has come in. He's an international player. He's an experienced player with Ulster. Played in big games. He's been involved in big moments. And for me, he's fitted in very, very well. I really like his skill set. I think he'll bring a lovely little short attacking kicking game that we've seen over the last couple of years. Notably, I remember against Leinster last year. He's the ability against, I suppose, rush defences, teams that play high up defensively on the edges. He has that ability to pick teams out, and his overall skill set, and we could see that even last Saturday against Bats. So he's been someone. He's a very, very good, very calm guy, very helpful around with the younger players. A real good team man, I must say. And then you have Tom Farrell and Dermot Kilgannon, who are after coming in and fitted in absolutely brilliantly as well. I suppose you look at the Irish teams, we don't all play too dissimilar ourselves. Certain parts of we call it our attack or whatever, might change bits and pieces here and there, and there's little nuggets, but generally it's similar enough framework. And so I suppose their understanding coming down was quite clear, and our players that are already been here have been very, very helpful to help them integrate both on and off the pitch. So the two boys have been, and I thought they both performed very, very well last week against Bath. I know it's the first game, but they showed very well. And Taki then is in also as well, so he came in last week. He's in the middle of literally integrating, getting used to new calls, probably a bit different for himself in terms of systems and stuff. But even at training, we can see, I suppose, one of the reasons we brought him in, just he's got that X factor. He's got incredible footwork. He's got out and out gas. We do, I suppose, play to edges, so I'm sure he'll touch a lot of the ball. He'll get off his wing. He'll add an awful lot to us, and it's kind of added. Just looking at when you're in a meeting with the backs at the moment, there's probably a few more faces, a few more bodies, and that just in terms of competition, with already that what's there, it's good going forward. I know we've lost certain players, absolutely, but It's probably a bit of a new energy there, and it does look like there's a good bit of competition, which is great. And then a great story is Brian Fitz from Garryowen as well, who's been consistently good with Garryowen over the last number of years in the AIL. I watched him in a development game against Munster actually in Rossbrine there at the end of last year, and he really caught my eye from an attacking point of view. So he's got a training contract on merit. He's going very well, and for me it's a great story. You know, we've seen it a couple of times in players with the likes of James Coughlin. It doesn't happen too much, but when it does and you get it right, it could be a good one. So he's been a breath of fresh air as well. He's come in very fit. He's got a bit of a GA background, and you can see it. He's on his bike and he goes, and he's been great as well. So far so good.